All right, let's talk a little sports. Aaron Rodgers was staying. I actually thought they were going to leave. Sometimes it's been there 10 years or 12 years, whatever he's been there. I'm like, why stay, right? They were talking that he wanted to go to San Francisco. They always thought he was going to Denver. They pretty much, hired a whole new team just for him to get there. And he was like, no, I'm going to stay. Um, it's interesting to see what the Packers really want to do. I don't think they'll be able to get to the Super Bowl. And it's not that Aaron Rodgers' talent isn't there. It's just that they're overpaying a guy. Not overpaying, but they're paying him a lot of money and don't have any pieces. They get the franchise tag, Devontae Adams, but you don't really have a great defense. You got to, spend some money there. You got to spend some money. Mason Crosby is not even the kicker he was years ago. He's really bad. So you got to invest in new kicker. You got to invest in new special teams. You got to invest in offensive line as, your quarterback gets older. So I just don't know if you wrap up $200 million, $150 million, how that is going to play out. But, it's all about money. So we'll see. They may say, we don't really care about winning. He wants to be here. We're going to pay him. He wants to make this amount of money. And the retirement tour is what's going to, really bring in the people in the stands and be able to, sell that to the media and stuff like that. I just don't know if winning is still their thing, because if he was to be able to go to San Francisco, I think that's a better team there. Denver's a better team if he would have went there as a free agent, because they wouldn't have to trade anybody. We'd be able to keep their draft picks and stuff like that. It's just to stay and not have a path forward. You don't see a lot of free agents going there. Obviously, they franchise tagged Devontae Adams, which kind of seems like they don't want to sign him long term, which he may be 1 year and done. So, say for instance, they don't go to Super Bowl again this year and don't win or whatever. Maybe he don't have anyone to throw it to next year, 2 years. I'm assuming this is a 3 year deal that he initially said he didn't sign, and everybody's saying he signed. So we'll see whatever comes out finally. But yeah, I don't know. You have to make a decision. Are we trying to, you know, just have a retirement tour for 2, 3 years, or do we really want to, you know, strive for a championship? That team is not a championship level team, but they're gonna win games. They're in a division that's not that great, so they'll win games. They'll be fine. But what is the path forward? It's going to be interesting to see how much influence he has. It's a long off season, so maybe he can get some free agents there. Maybe he can, influence some guys to take some pay cuts and come, take a ride with him. Antonio Brown's out there. There's a whole bunch of guys out there that, Tom Brady don't have. So, maybe he can take that route and say, let me get some guys that are a little older. Gronkowski, maybe just want to, play on a 1 year deal. So we'll see what's available and what happens in Green Bay. Russell Wilson was traded to the Denver Broncos. It's kind of weird because I thought he should have left a couple of years ago. Once Legion of Boom left, you seen the side of the ball that they decided to not invest in. Legion of Boom was taking points off the board, and they invested in the defense. But once they were dismantled, they didn't give them no wide receivers to play with. They gave them, decent, tight ends. Once Marshawn left, they had running back by committee. He was sacked 1 year for the most in the league. They didn't invest in the offensive line. He was never really a mobile quarterback. He wasn't Lamar Jackson, even though he was, ran a little bit. But he was never, sit out there and I'm going to just run every down. I can get away from, defenders. He was a sit back in the pocket and pass. So when you got a guy that, is mainly a passer and you don't invest in the offensive line, that kind of gives you the idea and all the answers you need to know on what they want to do with this team. But the run was good to go to Super Bowl a few times, win the Super Bowl, so it's good. But I think he should have left, a few years ago, because now the weight of all those sacks is taking a toll on his body. He had a couple of surgeries, sat out a few games. He came back early last season trying to get them into the playoffs, and it didn't work. Denver gave up a lot, though. But Denver's a solid team. They were solid last year with Teddy Bridgewater, but he got hurt. But then once he got hurt, quarterback by committee wasn't going to work. But I think, and he, Russell's a higher quality quarterback than Bridgewater. So I think Denver will be fine, and they'll be right back in the pack. Just one player, and changes their whole trajectory of their season. So it's going to be interesting to see just those two players and see if they can get some other guys. Um, I just don't know. I don't think Aaron Rodgers has built those relationships to get guys to take pay cuts and come work on a 1 year deal with him. Um, I don't know if Russell has. I think that a lot of people like the setup of the Denver Broncos with the management and the team and stuff like that. So we'll see. But they're gonna need more than one person. Every team is gonna need. Both of those teams are gonna need some extra pieces. But I think Denver has the best shot to be better and make a better season than what the Packers have. Anyway, we'll see. Have fun.